guys, sometimes I get emails asking me questions about how to get started in surfing, what boards to ride, and so on. So I thought I'd start a little video series addressing some of those questions. And today I'm going to talk to you about surf equipment. So we'll start with how to wax a board. You want to take the wax off your board every 1 to 2 months. There's nothing about keeping old wax on that really will interfere with your performance, but it makes your board look dirty and old. So once your wax is starting to get gray, or if there's like tar or sand in it, then it's probably time to change it. I usually just leave my board out in the sun for about 1 to 2 minutes and then use the back of the wax scope to remove the wax. When you get your new bar, which I like to use all natural wax, this is from my sponsor ComCom, because it's better for the earth. You're going to start, you can either, some people like to do X's, some people like to do the circular motion, so you just press lightly and get a nice layer on there. Some people use base coat, but I used to and I don't use it anymore. I've never really missed using it or felt like there's a difference, but if you want to use base coat, that's fine too. Some people think it's a good first layer of wax, and you can pick that up at your local surf shop. So basically you can see I'm just pressing kind of medium on the wax and just making circular motions to apply it. And you don't want to put too much, but you definitely want a nice layer. And like usually, like I tend to put my front foot like right around here, so sometimes I put a little extra. If it gets like bumpy up like this, that's okay. You can kind of press it down. And then you always want to try to apply your wax in the shade, even for the first time in every reapplication, because you don't want it to start melting while you're doing it. If you have to apply it in the sun, you can always dunk your board in the ocean and pull it off. I really like wax. I'm always like, oh, I gotta get good bumps, because that will help you stay on your board better. You definitely, if you wax your board the first time, you might want to bring it in your wetsuit, like tuck it in your sleeve, or if you have board shorts, tuck it in your pocket, because sometimes you get out there and realize that you need more. Some people think you need to wax where you put your hands to duck dive. I don't do that. I think it looks kind of silly, so you don't need wax to hold onto your board where you duck dive. You can easily just put your hands here and grip your board without slipping, so my recommendation is to avoid doing that. And there you go. There are several different kinds of wax: cold, cool, warm, tropical, and base coat. Check the label to see which kind is right for your local waters. I showed you before how to wax a short board. Here I have a long board. The wax application is exactly the same. It's just that you'll want to wax all the way up to the nose. So you can do toes on the nose, which is hanging your 10 toes over the nose. So just make sure that you get the wax all the way up here, so you don't let it. Just like you don't want to be walking to the waves with your leash dangling, you don't want to be leaving the beach with your leash dangling. There's a couple ways to wrap up your leash. On a longboard, you can bring the leash up to the nose like this and just wrap it around. And then you just twist the Velcro, open it up, and just kind of move it around the leash, and it will kind of stay like that. With a shortboard, you can either carry it. Sometimes it's not best to store your leashes on a shortboard all wrapped around, but at least once you get out of the water, you can wrap the leash around the fins. So you just twist it around like this, and then similar to the longboard, you're just going to take the Velcro of the leg strap and then just glue it together like that so the leash won't fall off. Obviously there's a wide variety of boards to choose from. I recommend, if you're a beginner, starting on a long board, so anything from 9 feet to about 10 feet should be good. You can learn on a short board, but I don't recommend it. It can definitely be more frustrating because it's harder to catch waves and it can be harder to keep your balance. Also, I think it can give you kind of a funky style. I learned on a longboard, but I went pretty quick down to a shortboard because I just wanted a shortboard so bad. But I still occasionally bump my knee on my pop-up, so I think that if I had started on longboard and worked more on my pop-up on that I might not do that. So my recommendation is to start on a longboard and work your way down. You can go to your local surf shop and you can tell them your experience level, your height, and your weight, and they should be able to hook you up with the right board. There's obviously different widths and thicknesses as well. Then also the fin setup. This one has 3 fins. This one is a single fin, which is more cruisy, flowy. There are quads, and there are twin fins. Both of those setups can be pretty fast and really fun. I think it's important to try everything. There are different thicknesses of wetsuits for different water temperatures. For example, I live in San Diego, so I have a 4.3 for winter, a 3.2 for spring and fall, and for summer usually a 2 mil with long sleeves and a short sleeve 1 mil. All wetsuits are measured in millimeters, that's talking about the thickness of the wetsuit, and the different panels are different thicknesses. So the 4 millimeters in a 4.3 is usually referring to the core of the wetsuit, and usually the arms will be thinner and they'll be 3 millimeters. And just the same in the 3.2, the thicker part will be at the core, and the sleeves are usually thinner to give you more mobility to paddle. Another piece of equipment I wanted to talk about are earplugs. They're kind of gross, so I won't get too close. But I usually keep these in my surf bag because I don't want to get surfer/swimmer's ear, which you can get from cold water and wind. So I always keep these in my bag, and I wear them most seasons except if it's really warm in summer or if I travel to somewhere hot. Okay, it's obvious that I don't need to tell you to wear sunscreen, hopefully, but this is a cool thing that my dad keeps. It's a big jug of sunscreen, and that's important. It's a Waterman's brand, and we always wear it, so don't get cancer. Just like there's a bunch of different wetsuits and boards, there's also a bunch of different fin choices. Here I have FCS and Future fins. I have both, obviously, and I like both. It's kind of a personal preference. The main difference is in the base of the fin and how it attaches to the board. When you purchase a fin system, they'll usually come in a little bag that comes with a little key. You'll use the key to affix the fins to the board. Take the key, put it in the screw, and then twist it until it stops. You don't want to turn them too tight because you could risk cracking the fin, and I usually don't like my fins in too tight. The last thing that I want to talk to you about is traction pads. You don't need them for every kind of board, but usually for short boards, people do use track pads. I always use a track pad. It's nice to put your foot here right on the kicker to help you rotate if you turn the board. Dakine is, at least for me, one of the only companies I found that makes pads for girls. So they're a little smaller, and for girls, I think they're better. So they also come in pretty colors. And that is the end of the video. So thank you for watching. You are cool. Have fun surfing. If you have any other questions, you can email me.
Action.
Of course, everyone knows to wear.
Stop. Do it again. I said action at the same time you started talking.
Hurry down.
You told me to say that word.
No, we'll hurry down.
It is dumb. I don't want to say it.
Well,
but you want me to.
Your other thing. Hopefully you can tell me.
Is that better? You want me to point at you or say a word?
Is it going?
Yes. Action.
Is it still going?
Action.
Okay.